All right, we're going to do some prenatal yoga. Let's hit the play button in 3, 2, 1. It ain't weird. Okay. And just coming from the perspective on that today or tomorrow actually is Earth Day. I want to stay again low to the ground and really honor Mother Earth, Father Sky, and all things in between, which we're doing, but also sticking with the word evolve for the month. So come as you are and just find a seat comfortable on your block or bolster. I might keep my socks on. You can stay cozy too. It will kind of move a little slower, like I said. Stick to the ground. So you can sit cross-legged or sit with your shins down. Okay, start to rock your pelvis forward and back, feeling how your entire spine, how your belly, the side body feels. Maybe go side to side until you climb all the way up to a tall spine. Take a big breath in through your nose. Take an open mouth exhale. Again, breathe in through your nose. Open mouth exhale. One more time, breathe in, fill up your entire waist. Breathe it out. Let your lips come together. And if it feels safe for you, you can close your eyes, go more inward. And notice the energy that you carry with you today. If the energy you need is more grounding, or maybe it's more uplifting, you need more movement. Know that throughout this practice, I want you to pick some way to move that feels really sustainable. Right here, right now, whatever week you're in, growing your baby. Just acknowledging the evolution of yourself and of the tiny being inside of you. Physically speaking, and mentally, and emotionally, spiritually, all the things. Notice the surface underneath you, the ground underneath you coming up to support you, and know that you are completely supported. Take one more moment to solidify in this energy. Grounding your tail all the way down into the earth. Let that be your anchor. Let your pelvis, whether it's your tailbone or even the entire pelvic floor, let that be your anchor for tonight. Rooted into the ground. And keeping your tall spine, nod your chin forward into your chest. And check in with the back body, the top of it, at the base of your head, your neck, the tops of your shoulders. If it feels appropriate, you can give yourself a tiny bit of overpressure with your hand. And just breathe deeply into the back of your neck. Take 2 more breaths. See if you can get your chin a little closer to your chest. And then release your head We'll rock your ears from right to left, moving just as slowly. Noting if one side of your body, one shoulder feels a little more lifted, or like your head can't dive as far over. That's okay. You can hang out on maybe one or two spots with deeper breaths, more awareness. You can come back to the neck for sure. Bring your head back to the center, neutralizing, evening out. Then lift your head back to over your shoulders. And take a couple rolls. That feels good. Take a deep breath in, open your arms out wide, extend your fingertips back so your wrists start to stretch out. Maybe you feel that across your forearms or your elbows. Just puff out your heart, breathe in, and breathe out. Coil back towards yourself, and you can give yourself a small little hug. Inhale, open up like you're really coming in for a giant hug. Exhale, wrap it, put the other arm on top maybe. Breathe in, open, get expansive, let your tailbone lift back. Exhale and round. One more time, breathe in, get expansive, fingertips back. Exhale, coil back. And then breathe in, take your arms out to a T, reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, take a side bend over to your right. Stay anchored in your left. We're going to move with it. Inhale, rise back up through the middle. Exhale to switch. Use that full breath out. And inhale, come back up. Exhale slowly to the right. Bending that bottom elbow if you need to. Inhale, back through the center. Exhale, left hand comes down. Reach up and over with your right. And breathe in, come back up tall with your arms. Let's extend the legs out. Take a breath in as you rock your pelvis forward, pull your toes up towards your feet. Exhale and let your body round in. So you can go as wide as you need to with your feet. I want you to stay in the center if that feels good, or if you want to invite some movement in from side to side, really getting to know those spaces back there. You can just rock it. Kind of like with your neck, just moving slowly from side to side. Breathe deeply into your hamstrings or your calves. Take 3 more. Use your breath in to climb yourself back up. Nice. Roll your shoulder blades back again. Let's bend the right foot, right knee in towards the left thigh, but you're going to take it wide. And maybe you stay on the bolster, maybe you drop it off and stick it behind you. Take another breath in, get your arms long again. Exhale, take another side bend over to your left side. So you can keep the right hand lifted, or you can cradle your head. You can even just drop it back behind you and reach back. So you stretch more so along your neck and maybe the front of your shoulder. The left arm can hang on the inside, pushing into it to help rotate your right shoulder over your left. You can play with adding the reach again, noticing your inner thighs. Maybe if you pull your toes up, you feel a little more. And I want you to feel this engagement of your right lower ribs in between all the way to the top of your hip. And take a breath in, contract to rise all the way back up. Exhale and plant your right hand down by your glutes. Push down into your hand. Reach up with your hips. Open up. Get expansive with it if you can. Left fingertips can swing back behind you or all the way up into a big diagonal along with your left leg. Take one more breath here. Squeeze your right glute. Exhale, lower back down. Try that one more time. Inhale, press your hips up. Get that opening through your hips, especially if you've been sitting all day. Exhale, lower back down. Cool. Coming back in with the left leg. Let's try straightening out the right leg. Ground in through your hips, that anchor of your pelvic floor. Breathe in, reach up. And exhale, take a side bend to your right. You can hold your head. Play with that bind behind your back. You use the bottom hand to hold your head up. Keep wrapping your left shoulder to stack over your right. Be gentle with this space. You have a lot of tightness here. You can even give yourself a self-massage while you sit. Find deeper breaths. If you're starting to feel any of that stretch across your mid-belly, more of a functional diastasis, start to notice if you have tension on the side of your waist or in your low back. Start to bring that tension back to the front. Okay. Now use your breath in, rise all the way back up, both arms high. Exhale, plant the left hand down. Keep reaching with your right fingertips as if someone were pulling you up. Push your hips forward. Maybe take a gaze back or a gaze up towards the sky. Stretch long in a diagonal. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back down. One more time. Inhale to reach. Press out through your hips. Exhale all the way back down. Okay, take your right leg. Swing it back behind you so you can find a child's pose. Toes together, knees wide as you need to make space for your belly. Lower your chest down. You can bend your elbows and just relax your forehead on your forearms if that feels good. You can always just grab a block. And let yourself settle in. Even press back through your hands to get a tiny tucking under of your tailbone so you feel your low back stretch. You can do it on the breath out and start to engage your transverse abdominis, that muscle that helps pull everything together towards your center, towards your spine, towards your baby. So I don't know if you can see everything here, but you really can take a breath into your belly, your chest. And exhale, pull your low belly in. Keep going, breathe in. Exhale and contract the TA. Let's do 3 more together. Inhale. Maybe doing a pursed lip breath helps you out. Try it again. For this next one, try a hissing noise. So make a sound through your teeth like a snake. Inhale first. And then do a and if it helps you to actually like, look at your belly while you do this, maybe more so in a tabletop, you can always try that out on your own. Okay. Keep your hips anchored, plugged in. Let your heart settle in for just one more beat. Let your breath go back to whatever feels comfortable. Again, sustainable. And then you can pick yourself up into more of a puppy pose. So walk your knees in and then back. You can keep your elbows or your hands glued in, but let your chest sink down, let your forehead sink down. Try to get some expansion across your chest and your upper back. Try to pick your tailbone up higher. Rock your forehead from right to left. Or if you can glue your elbows into the ground and put your hands together, you can stretch into your triceps. One more breath. And straighten out your arms, plant your hands down. Inhale, come through to a tabletop. You can wag your tail, your spine from side to side. And then just take your right foot forward. Left knee stays down. Grab your blocks if you need to. Bring the ground higher to you. Settle into your hips. Anchor down through the right big toe mound. Pull your shoulder blades down. Maybe take your chin off your chest and gaze up. Or if it feels good to look down, you can always look back down at the ground again. Wag from side to side. Take a deep breath here. Let your pelvis anchor down even further on your breath out. Breathe in, pick up your head. Push your hips back. Hands can stay where they are for more intense stretch for your back body. You can slide them out even further to challenge a little bit of your hip stability, or you can walk them back underneath your shoulders. Give yourself some grace to check in with your hamstrings. You don't have to have a completely straight leg to feel this one at the back of your thigh. Notice if toes down or toes up feels better for you right now. Breathe with it. Let's take two more. Last one. Okay, breathe in and lift yourself up. Okay, so this is gonna be a fun little transition. You can kind of play with it. So you're gonna kickstand, I swivel so you can see. You're gonna kickstand your left foot behind you over to the right so that you make a little more room for yourself. And from the side, it's just gonna go right leg over the left. So you've got this little hole for you to sit at. And if it feels like, oh my gosh, if I lean back, I'm not gonna be able to find my seat, just put one of those blocks behind you and you can reach your butt for that. Okay, so take your time figuring out what feels good in your body. Maybe it is staying on the block, or maybe you're like, oh wait, the ground's not actually that far away, so you can sit there. Okay, so this just may be where you end up, depending on how big your belly is, right? You can either come straight forward until your belly hits your thigh, or you can aim over to the left side to find a little more space and room and still get a nice big glute stretch. It's okay if the right butt starts to lift up, but the more you do anchor back there on the right side of your pelvic floor diamond, you may feel more sensation. Okay. Take a slow breath in to rise, keeping your legs as they are. If you can, if it feels way too intense still, you can straighten out that bottom leg. But otherwise, find your seat again, nice and tall through your spine. Take your right hand up and over like you're reaching for your back, like giving your back a scratch. Left hand will come back and around underneath. And I want you to imagine those two spots finding some sort of energetic connection, or maybe there's a real connection. Not that energy is not real, but just that your fingers might touch. And you can stay right there, noticing the stretch on the shoulders or the triceps again. Try leaning your head back instead of letting yourself collapse forward. Just extend up through your upper back. Take a breath in and a breath out. Let it all go. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And exhale and twist to the right. So your left arm will go across your thigh. You can open yourself up to the right, looking all the way over your shoulder if you can. One more breath. Inhale to unwind and come back to the center. And just swivel your legs out. Let them come forward. Give yourself a good shake. And then swing them all the way over around so that you're on hands and knees again. You can circle out your hips. Notice what they feel like from right to left. Once you even out those circles, we'll go left foot in front. Use your blocks. Bring Mother Earth closer to you. Okay, hands on the inside works great. You might need to scooch your right knee further back to really feel like you can, again, find this little anchor with your pelvic floor down to the earth. Check in with head and gaze up, or head down, gaze down. A slow rock from side to side could feel nice. One more breath here. Breathe in and lift your head, lift your chest. Breathe out, push your hips back. Keep your hands where they are or extend them even further out. Like you're reaching for the top of your mat. Notice the left hamstring. If you need that support, hands underneath the shoulders. A little touch to the body. You can actually rub your left hamstring. Play with toes up, toes down. Can you notice how your breathing is affected by you deepening into some posture, evolving some posture? Stay with it for 3 more. Now begin to lift your head. Breathe in. Grab the blocks. You're going to bend into the left knee first. Maybe kickstand that right leg back behind you. And then drag the left foot across your body. So your knees and your thighs are kind of already touching. You're sitting cross-legged already. So your ankles are wide. Take that slow seat back if you can. Or sit on your blocks. Okay. Line yourself up. Get your knees to stack as best as you can. The more you hug your ankles in towards your body, the more, or the less you'll feel actually. So the more they're out, the more you'll feel, potentially even in your knees. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Take a breath in, sit up, breathe out. Either fold straight forward if you've got the space, or you can angle yourself over to the right. You'll still get that glute stretch on your left this time. And if you're carrying your head like I am, it could be a nice practice to drop the head down. Test it out. You can always come back. Breathe in, lift your head, lift your spine, keep your legs as they are, and take your left hand up and over for your back. Take your right hand up and under. See if you can wiggle or grab onto your shirt, grab onto your sports bra, and notice that stretch. Depending on which one is technically your dominant hand, the one coming up and under can feel more intense. I feel like for me, it's my watch that's getting in the way of me being able to make those grabs. Push your head back into your form if you can. Take one more breath. Breathe in. Breathe out to relax the grip. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and twist to your left. Use your right arm as leverage and anchor. So pushing in, take a look over your left shoulder if it feels good on your neck. One more. Breathe in, come back up through the middle. And exhale, relax the elbows and hands down. Uncross the legs, keep the knees bent. Go ahead and rock from side to side. And then pause right in the middle. Let's go with a really wide-legged forward fold. Put yourself up on a block if you need to, or a bolster. You can use your hands behind you too, if that helps push your hips more forward. Okay, take your breath in and your breath out. Imagine like you're looking over the top end of your mat or the side if you turned over to the side. And if you feel like you've got the space, you can grab on your ankles, your feet, your toes, or you can crawl forward. That feels good to round into your spine. Feel free to do that or stay lifted and just focus solely on the inner thighs. You could take your spine from side to side. Maybe check in with your intuition. Notice what your body needs. Let yourself go deeper for just 3 more breaths. Take a breath in to rise. Use your hands. Help carry your knees, your legs back together. Maybe you bend them and you give them a little squeeze in towards your chest, or another rock from right to left. Okay, we're gonna pause with the left leg straight, and your right leg will come back behind you. So if you can plant down through the top of your ankle, and your butt doesn't have to be glued in or anything, but I do want you to feel like your low back is super spacious. So lift up your pubic bone towards the sky so you start to get a good stretch through your quad. And feel free to stay in your hands. If you want more support, blocks are available, right, to come down to your elbows so that you stay more upright. Less pressure on you. You can breathe deeply. Notice if the knee wants to start to lift up. Maybe you come up. Right? Keep the shin grounded. Notice where you feel all of this. Sometimes our tight hip flexors pull our low back into more extension, making that feel tighter. And it also makes our hamstrings work a lot more than they need to. Take one more breath. Lift yourself back up. Let's lean over to the left to take the right leg out. Give yourself a little bend and straighten. That could look like it hovers, like what I was doing, or you can just slide your heel up and down your mat. You can do a fall out of your knee, or in a butterfly position. You can reverse that. Cool. And then we'll try left side. So lean over to your right, tuck the left leg under. You can lift up your hips first. So notice how pubic bones go up to the sky so that you can lengthen the top of your hip away from your kneecap. Go to an edge that feels sustainable. Or even to an edge where you feel like you can evolve, grow, find more room. Take one more deep, deep breath. Nice. Start to rise up. Lean over to your right. Slide that left foot out. And just start with straightening, bending a couple times. And the next time your knee is bent, let the leg fall out to the side and then straighten it out. Fall to the side, straighten out, pull it in, out. Then reverse it. Hold the knee wide. Put in. Knee up. Straighten. This is something we used to do in dance class to warm up the hips. Okay. So you have a couple options for this one. You can sit just like this in a little butterfly, or you can get up on your feet, push your way forward into a malasana. So feet either grounded or with hips supported on the block, all good. It's all still focusing on the anchor of your pelvic floor, right? Your inner thighs. If you are on your feet, it's more about some ankle mobility as well. So up to you. Do what you need to with your hands, whether it's grounding down in front and using your elbows to find more width. Even when your feet are together, you can still use your elbows for that. I want you to close your eyes and imagine the canister of your core that is holding your baby, supporting you and your organs. I want you to see if you can connect to your breath with your pelvic floor. Notice what it does naturally without you having to control it. When you breathe in, it expands, lowers down. And when you breathe out, it gently cradles you. Breathe in, hold it lower. And exhale, let it just come up gently. Let's do 5 more. For these last 4, I want you to notice your low belly. Notice how everything begins to expand when you breathe in. And when you breathe out, everything comes in to hug the baby. Last one. All right. Whether you're on your feet or on your glutes, I want you to rock over onto all 4s. One more time. Just take your hips in as big of circles as you want. Potentially hanging out a bit more in an extended position for your hips, potentially your low back. But just notice how that all feels. Do you feel strong and powerful as you lift up your heart, letting your hips hang down? Can you feel the length of your legs? Take one more breath. And breathe out. Use that transverse abdominis to switch you back. One child's pose. Take a breath in. Releasing breath out. And come back up through the tabletop. And shift forward. Snag your props. I'm going to go in the Egyptian pillow. Like how it always is. Especially if you have a hard time laying on your back or you don't like lying on your side, this is a great alternative. Okay. Scoot your hips back towards the base of the bolster. Take your time leaning back. Hopefully this stays for me. Yep. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta trust it, that you built it, and it's good. Okay, do what feels good for your legs. Potentially coming back to feet together, knees wide, or maybe you're over it. And it feels better just to keep your feet out, knees out, hands relaxed, or on top of your heart, on top of your belly for one more moment of connection. one more acknowledgement of the fact that you're supported by the ground, by your community, by yourself, and that your baby's supporting too. You can let your hands come down by your sides and do what you want with your legs. Straight legs are okay too. And whether you stay and count out 10 breaths with me or you stay for a couple more minutes, it's all good. But let yourself complete this cycle of movement. Feel free to stay where you are. Just let my words wash over you. Or you can begin to take your deep breaths. Breathe life into yourself, into your womb space. Start to awaken your physical container. Do what feels good to lay over onto one side or sit up, but go slow. And think of one thing you're grateful for. And I want you to aim it towards nature. Can you find some gratitude in the form of your favorite plant or element or your favorite sensation that nature does give you? Hold on to that gratitude and pick yourself up into a seat. And bring your hands in towards your heart. We'll close with a breath together. In through the nose to start. Open mouth, exhale to complete. Thank you so much for joining me. From my heart to yours. Namaste.